stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hey, Dave. Old Dan's wallet. Yeah, not much has changed. I still only carry very little cash. I carry very little cash. I have ones in here for the basket. It's usually about all the cash I carry. It's not hard when you're broke. Michelle, I wanted to thank you for joining us online last night. I appreciated that. I thought there would be. I thought the online would have blown up, but no. But you know what was great is everybody that was supposed to showed up, and that's what mattered. You know, there were a lot of people that were going to show up that didn't, and things like that. And you know how it is. Like when you're dressed really nice, and one person, everybody compliments you, and then there's one person who like, oh, well, your shoes untied, or you got a scuff, or they point something out, and that's what you think about. Everybody else like that? No, yeah, we are. So, yeah, well, and I appreciate it. I really did. You've been mustering a lot of courage lately, Michelle. I'm proud of you. It's progress, and that's all we can really do in our lives is make progress. It's where success comes from. And as arrested alcoholics, we need that every day. Okay. Are you? Fantastic. It's a good book. It's a good book. Good to see you. Ingrid. So I forgot I shut my brain off for the day. Well, it's just been, I've been sick all week, and I've been having to run around. Last night I was so tired last night, and then I didn't fall asleep until like 2:00 in the morning. Because I was wound up. Anyway, such is life. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. I didn't wake up hungover. Yay. So there's that, right? Welcome to Daily Trudge. If you're here, please say hello. Keep in mind, and a lot of people already have, but starting in 2 days, this is going to change a little bit. It's beyond my control, but I will not be able to post. I will not be able to go live in groups anymore. So there's that. Hi, Patricia. Good to see you. So if you are with the Daily Trudge, don't worry about it. You'll get notifications. But as far as this goes, I'm going to focus it all on that page now is what I'm going to do. So I'll have 2 pages in a group aside from my personal page. I got to keep some things separate. So step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry the message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. All right, the principles. What are the principles? This is the only thing Drop the Rock is good for, in my opinion, because it has the right principles. I don't know what it is, but online, if you go on Google and look for the principles, step 9 is wrong. Okay, step 9 is wrong on there. So these are the ones that I learned from when I could find that. Step 1, honesty. Step 2, hope. Step 3, faith. Step 4, courage. Step 5, integrity. Step 6, willingness. Step 7, humility. Step 8, brotherly love. Step 9, justice. Okay, it's very important that we understand that it is not forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a principle, it's an action. Okay, justice is a principle. Okay, and why is that? Because forgiveness happened in 4 and 5. 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's where forgiveness starts. That's where it belongs. Okay. Step 10, perseverance. It's on page, it's in the introduction to Drop the Rock on Roman numeral 18. Step 11, spiritual awareness. Step 12, service. If you want, I can put this somewhere and send it to you. May I'll just take a picture and send it to you, if that'll help you. All right. So now we know what principles we're talking about. Those are the principles. And they're just one word, right? Quick reminder. The joy of living is the theme of AA's 12 steps. Are you enjoying life? Might be kind of hard right now. That's okay. You can still enjoy life. Okay? And action is the key word. Action, action, action. Here we turn outward toward our fellow alcoholics who are still in distress. Here we experience the kind of giving that asks no reward. Here we begin to practice all 12 steps of the program in our daily lives so that we and those about us may find emotional sobriety. Emotional sobriety. Yeah. Told you I turned my brain off. When the 12th step is seen in its full implication, it is really talking about the kind of love that has no price tag on it. Okay. So, see, there's a fad going around about emotional sobriety. Okay. You don't need an emotional sobriety as a static topic every week. If you're doing that, you're up to some bullshit, and I know it. I'm just giving everybody a heads up. Don't fall for the emotional sobriety meetings every week. Okay. Emotional sobriety, I'll give it to you real quick. Stop using other people for your own feelings. That's it. Take responsibility for your own feelings and start loving appropriately. There, now you know emotional sobriety. Emotional sobriety is unconditional love. Okay. Our 12th step also says that as a result of practicing these steps, we have found something called a spiritual awakening. To new AAs, this often seems a very dubious and improbable state of affairs. What do you mean when you talk about a spiritual awakening, they ask. A couple definitions, right? Maybe there are as many definitions of a spiritual awakening as there are people who have had them. Yes, this is a personal experience. And it's going to be different for you than it is for me. It'll be different for you. Okay? Which is what we want, isn't it? You don't want my recovery. My recovery will get you drunk. My recovery will get you drunk. Okay? Right? There's a lot. I'm going to tell you something. I have a lot of lines that I use, right? Today I said in the meeting, what you say to yourself matters. And somebody said after me, thank you to whoever said that. I'm going to tell you, I stole it. I stole it. You can thank me. That's great, but apply it. I'd rather see you apply it than thank me. I really would. Because and not only that, but I'm not going to take credit because I stole it. My recovery is a culmination of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Yep, I stole what they had. A lot of times they gave it to me. Yeah. See, I am connected to everyone because I steal your stuff. Okay. And all these things, but certainly a genuine one has something in common with all the others. And these things which they have in common are not too hard to understand. When a man or woman has a spiritual awakening, the most important meaning of it is that he has now become able to feel, to be able to do, feel, and believe, which he could not do before on his unaided strength and resources alone. You find, you know, even though I'm a loner and I spend a lot of time alone, I need people in my life. I do. And I want people in my life. There's certain people I want in my life. Okay. Um, I also have found that I want God in my life. And I am a grateful, I'm one of those people who's grateful to be an alcoholic because I love God that much. I love my life that much that I am certainly now willing to accept everything that has happened in my life because of where I'm at today. And you can have it too. He has been granted a gift which amounts to a new state of consciousness and being. He has been set on a path which tells him he is really going somewhere, that life is not a dead end, not something to be endured or mastered. It's just live it. Yeah. You listen to that extreme though. That life is not to be endured or mastered. There's that flow again. Going with the flow. Okay? Now you can still take think of a stream. Okay? All that water is heading the same direction, but each little piece of water is taking a little different direction than the rest. But together they form something powerful. Okay? There's enough water, you cannot stop it. In fact, water, I have found, happens to be, it's God, it's spirituality for me. I know it's kind of weird, but I see it that way because it can conform to anything. It can create, it can destroy. Water is probably the most powerful element, I think. So, all right. In a very real sense, he has been transformed because he has laid hold of a source of strength, which in one way or another, had hitherto denied himself. He finds himself in the possession of a degree of honesty, tolerance, unselfishness, peace of mind, and love of which he had thought himself quite incapable. What he has received is a free gift, and yet usually, at least in some small part, he has made himself ready to receive it. Was it a free gift? I don't necessarily agree with that. I had to give up a lot. But in the sense of unconditional love, it is a free gift because we're not expecting anything in return, right? And I think that's probably where he's going for. AA's manner of making ready to receive this gift lies in the practice of the 12 steps in our program. So let's consider briefly what we have been trying to do up to this point. I'm going to skip this. I'm on 109. So, practicing these steps, we had a spiritual awakening about which finally there was no question. Looking at those who were only beginning and still doubted themselves, the rest of us were able to see the change setting in. From great numbers of such experiences, we could predict this is me. Because people are like, are you psychic? No, you're human. We could predict that the doubter who still claimed that he hadn't got the spiritual angle, who still considered his well loved AA group, the higher power would presently love God and call him by name. What does that mean? It means they conformed. That's it. They fit in. They're part of the herd. They put themselves in the middle of the herd, man, is what they did. In other words, they stopped being terminally unique. Okay? I call God God so that you don't misunderstand me. Beyond that, notice I do not talk about my higher power much. I don't know. I don't know. I can tell you this. It works for me. And I won't deny that anymore. Okay? I won't. So what are they saying? Well, use higher power or God. Beyond that, don't be terminally unique. Okay? It's like when somebody comes in and says, my name's Dion and I'm a person in long-term recovery. We really don't know what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying. Because to me, long-term recovery is 10 plus years. To them, it may mean something different. It's kind of like I will be there shortly. I don't know what shortly means in your mind. Okay? I'll be there in 5 minutes. Oh, that I get. Okay? Kind of the same thing. It's about the unity. Why are we talking about this? Because after we're done with step 12, you know where we're supposed to go next. Tradition 1. And tradition 1 talks about unity. Okay? Step 12 goes into tradition 1. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What about the rest of step 12? The wonderful energy it releases and the eager action by which it carries our message to the next suffering alcoholic, which finally translates the 12 steps into action upon all of our affairs, is the payoff. The magnificent reality of Alcoholics Anonymous. Even the newest of newcomers find undreamed rewards as he tries to help his brother alcoholic, the one who is even blinder than he. This is indeed the kind of giving that actually demands nothing. And that's why it works. It's why it works. Okay? Let's say you go to a therapist. They still want something. Do they not? The doctors, the lawyers, the people in our family, they all freaking want something from us. Even if it is to get sober, it is still a want, and we can't go for it for some reason. But when somebody comes along and says, I'm just going to give this to you, the feeling changes. I don't know why. I don't know the psychology behind it, but I know it works. I know it worked on me. When another alcoholic could explain the true malady of my situation, then I got it. I have actually found that most alcoholics get sober when they find out that they are actually hurting the people that they love. Because for some reason, we don't think we are. I knew better, and I still thought that way. That's how deep the denial goes. I was taught better. I knew better. He does not expect his brother sufferer to pay him or even love him. I don't. And then he discovers that by divine paradox of this kind of giving, he has found his own reward. Yeah. You create your own rewards. That's the beauty of it. It all starts from within. Everything starts from within. This kind of giving is found his own reward, whether his brother has not yet received anything at all. His own character may still be gravely defective, but he somehow knows that God has enabled him to make a mighty beginning. And he senses that he stands on the edge of new mysteries, joys, and experiences of which he had never dreamed. And we're big dreamers. But I can tell you now, I had no idea. I had no idea what God was going to do. All right. Practically every AA newcomer declares that no satisfaction has been deeper and no joy greater than a 12-step job well done. You ever done a 12-step call? That means that you've gone somewhere with somebody else, sat down with another person, and talked them into the program. That is a 12-step call. We used to do them on the regular. Yeah, back in the 90s, my phone would ring. I remember I was working at Boyer's Coffee. I got a 12-step call. They let me go. They let me go. The owner was, I don't know what it says. Ah, okay. Didn't show up there. But to watch the eyes of men and women opened with wonder as they move from darkness into light, to see their lives quickly, and it does happen. That's the difference between AA and a lot of other places. I haven't experienced the other one, some of the other ones, so I can't say. But I do know in AA, when somebody grabs this program with all the fervor of a dying person, they change. They do a 180. And sometimes it happens in months. Yeah. It's almost unbelievable. Almost. But when you see the transformation happen right in front of your eyes, you can't help but believe. You can't. Here's the big one, too. See their lives quickly fill with new purpose and meaning, to see whole families reassembled, to see the alcoholic outcast received back into his community in full citizenship, and above all, to watch these people awaken to the presence of a loving God in their lives. These things are the substance of what we receive as we carry AA's message to the next alcoholic. Okay. I've had a lot of highs in my life. A lot. Some of them natural, some not so natural. This is the best high I've ever had in my life. Why do you think I do what I do? It makes me feel good. Makes me feel better about myself. And when I feel better about myself, I treat you better. I treat everybody better. I walk around with a different attitude. And it affects everybody in my life, just like my drinking did. They're watching you. Your kids, your auntie, your mommy, your daddy, your brothers, your sisters, your fellows, they're watching. Okay? I don't mind. I don't mind. Because I'm going to do the right thing whether somebody's around or not. I do not give it a second thought. I don't need to. I don't need to. Nor is this the only type or kind of 12-step work. We sit in AA meetings and listen, not only to receive to ourselves, but to give reassurance and support which our presence can bring. If our turn comes to speak at a meeting, we again try to carry the AA's message. Okay? It is not, my name is Dion and I pass. If it's your turn to speak, speak. Claim your seat. My name's Dion. I'm an alcoholic. I don't know much about this topic, but I do know that this is what works for me right now. Thank you. Even if it's 10 seconds. Okay, it's claiming your seat. Okay. Then again, there may be some days when you just, if you felt like you opened your mouth, you probably piss everybody off. Yeah, maybe listen. I don't want to, there can't be absolutes. There can't be absolutes, and that's part of the problem. Hello. Hello, poet. Whether our audience is one or many, it's still 12-step work. Yep. Thursday, I chaired the 3 p.m. meeting, 70 people. Blown away. Go to church, chair that meeting, 7 people. Just as important. Just as important. You bet. In fact, the one with 7 people may even have been more important. I don't know. God determines that. Okay, it doesn't matter the size, right? Like even here, we've been doing this over 5 years. 4 people here. It's a good amount. It's a good amount. If there are 50 people here, they'd all be talking and doing all this other crap, and I probably wouldn't be able to keep up. Never thought of that. Whether our audience, there are many opportunities, even for those who feel unable to speak at meetings or who are situated that we cannot do much to face-to-face 12-step work. We can be the ones who take on the unspectacular but more important tasks that make good 12-step work possible. Perhaps arranging the coffee and the cake after the meetings. Yeah, did you know that we usually actually have treats after the meeting and stuff? Yeah, we'll get to that once our group starts making a little bit of money. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to look into it. But our central office was supposed to help us out with that. They were supposed to set us up with stuff. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't do that. In fact, I'm gonna find out what's up with that because we need some help. The group needs some help. So, anyway. Ranging coffee cake, where so many skeptical, suspicious newcomers have found their confidence and comfort in laughter and talk. This is 12-step work in the very sense of the word. Freely ye have received, freely give is the core of this part of step 12. What does that mean? It means that there's a meeting before the meeting and there's a meeting after the meeting. We think meetings are an hour long now for some reason. They are 2 hours. Plan on 2 hours of time. I get there. Sometimes I'm there a half hour early. And if I'm at an in-person meeting and I'm not the one that has to tear down and everything, I stay for 15 minutes to a half hour after. That is where the camaraderie comes in. That's where the fellowship comes in. That's where we get to do our cross-talking, say, hey, I really like what you had to say. This is where we approach newcomers. Even on Zoom, this counts. Please stay after the meeting. There's 20 people in the meeting or there's 70 people in the meeting. Meeting's over and then there's 5 people. All right? You too. I'm almost done. Let's just go ahead and because this is a very long one. Okay? Still going. But today, now we're just these little studies of AA's 12 steps now come to a close. We have been considering so many problems that it may appear that AA consists mainly of racking dilemmas and troubleshooting. To a certain extent, that is true. Yep, 29 minutes. We're going to hit that 30 mark. In the beginning, that's going to be pretty true. I don't have many racking dilemmas anymore. I don't treat them that way. I just have problems. We have been talking about problems because we are problem people who found a way up and out and who wish to share our knowledge of that way with all who can use it. For it is only by accepting and solving our problems that we begin to get right with ourselves and with the world about us and with Him who presides over us all. Understanding is the key to right principles and attitudes, and right action is the key to good living. Therefore, the joy of good living is the theme of AA's 12th step. We want you to be happy. Well, we want you to be serene. That's what joy is. Joy is balance. Joy is the feeling that everything's just okay right now. I'm not too elated. I'm not too down. And that's usually when my eyes shine the most. When I am sick. Why? Because at that point, I am in full effect of the sunlight of the Spirit. With each passing day of our lives, may every one of us sense more deeply the inner meaning of AA's simple prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I will put, what I will do is I will put the list of the principles in the group. I'll put it in Trudging Together group. So that way you can have it. All right. Because I didn't know everybody that needed it and things like that. So you'll find it in the group or my page. I'll put it in both. All right. Fair enough. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Trevor, good to see you, brother. I love you all. Peace out and have a day.